Pipe Network presents.
On this episode of Season 4, Let's Talk.
And then 2018 came. I was like, okay, let me try this again. Because I really want to do something more than blogging. Na parang feeling ko, I need I need to talk again because I've been at home for so long because I stopped working in 2014. Kasi sabi ko, I want to rest first from the corporate world and let's see after a year if I want to go back or not. Nag-enjoy ako sa content creation. So, yon, hindi na ako nagbumalik sa work.
Before we get into this episode, make sure to share this with your family and friends. And if you want to connect with me, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Rajiv Show. Hey folks, welcome back to The Rajiv Show, and I'm your host Rajiv Doreswamy. And this show aims to help reach out to those who are currently struggling in life and to remind you that life is indeed beautiful when you're inspired to make it your own. Hey folks, welcome back to the Rajiv Show. Oh man, I don't know how to introduce this person because I collaborated with her and she's a loving, warm person and she made me look sexy. That is one thing that uh, one thing that I really want to take to heart. She made me look sexy and I hopefully we'd have more collaborations in the future. But I digress from the introduction. I want to introduce my guest, the legendary, the phenomenal, the majestic peacock from Singapore, Roma Miclat. Parang ring announcer.
Grabe, parang wrestling naman yung dating ano. Thank you, Raj. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Rajiv, for inviting me to your show. Finally, it's happening.
I know. This was, I don't know, 5 months, 4 months overdue.
Yeah,
But
I think you sent me a message back in June.
yeah, that was when they were
Yeah,
building
that was the
pyramids
first
and all.
time. Hmm.
Yeah, when they were building the pyramids and all, I remember. Yeah, and then I sent you a message via
Mm-mm.
messenger. The Egyptians didn't mind, but yeah.
Mm-mm.
Aside from the, before we get into the meat and bones of this conversation, could you give a little bit of background to my listeners about you?
Well, I am Roma, and I am the host and producer of the Roma Miclat podcast. And as Rajiv mentioned, I live in Singapore, but 100% or more than 100% Pinoy by heart. And basically, that's it. Oh, but I do social media content management. That's my side job. So that's
Wow,
it.
this is a
Super
different.
short. Walang masyado, promise.
This is an opening, opening stuff. Um, I want to unbox social media content manager. I want to know what that is all about. But before I ask that
Mm-hmm.
thing, let's travel back in time. And then,
Mm-hmm.
if you and I were classmates in high school, I gotta ask. I kind of ask this almost every
Mm-hmm.
time. Is that if you and I were high school classmates, who were you in high school? Are you the person who is in the books, competitive in sports, um, or you know, with guys a lot, popular, cheerleading and all that stuff? Who, if you and I were classmates in high school, who were you in high school?
Who would I be in high school? I would say I'm that low key and that maawain type of person. You know, when people have this person that they really hate, I usually become friends with them. Actually, nadala ko yung ganung personality ko until university time. Nung time ko sa university and I would definitely not be the sporty type because I've been wearing my glasses and I've been avoiding sports. But, and also, I love the, not naman love, rather. Sorry, let me change that. I am the person who would get along with guys mostly. Um, I still have friends who are girls. Kaya lang, sometimes, yung sa high school, there are group of people na minsan, oh, si ganito, crush ni ganito, tapos di ka na nila papansinin, mga ganon. So, I just feel na it's easier for me to engage with guys kasi straightforward ang lalaki eh. Na parang walang issue-issue sa kanila. Gutom ka? Sige, kakain. Or ayaw mo na nito, lalaro ka, go. Ganon. Hindi katulad sa babae, medyo complex yung relationship with women kasi or with girls kasi. So, yon. That I think I'm very low key. Pero yon, dorky because I've been wearing my glasses since forever. So, yon. I'm that girl with glasses.
Interesting. That is the first interesting of this conversation. Uh, well, one thing that I've noticed is that now I'm sure in your social media you actually give this away. You do cycle a lot, which is kind of weird transition. I'm sure. I find that
Yeah.
interesting because
Mm-mm.
one thing I related to that, and I didn't expect that was going to be a part of the conversation, is the fact
Mm-hmm.
that I used to cycle a lot in India, and
Wow, talaga?
yeah, and in comparison
For
to
sports or ano, for leisure? Oh, yan ang babaliktad na tayo. Ako na yung nagtatanong.
yeah, yeah, that's the main point of the Let's Talk series. When I
Yeah.
used to go to animation, there was a year in my last years where I used to go and cycle all the way to sing to college to animation. I was introduced to an animation college for 2 years. It was a crazy experience. I think for 2 years, I don't really remember the years, but I used to cycle a lot, and there were very funny moments that I used to share. And the thing about that was when I used to go to college during the years, the communication was a lot of it was a barrier because people in the college in that community, they spoke Kannada, and they speak so fast. It's like you're watching Chinese fly. Chinese words fly faster than the thing, and it was really hard. It was really hard to sing, to catch up with what they were saying. But
Mhm.
the funny part about those moments was the thing that I dreaded the most is that when I used to travel, I used to cycle, and I used to cycle to college and back. There were days that it would have been easier to communicate with my teacher. I used to send a message on Messenger to ask him if we have class, and then
Mhm.
there were certain days that without any warning, he would force us to come to college only for the security guard who was actually guarding, and to tell us that there were no classes, and it was so embarrassing. Imagine a brown man's legs are shaking because he woke up 2 hours just to find out that
Oh
there was
my
no
God.
class, and then heading back. It was crazy moments. And
Yeah,
during
power trip, man.
Yeah, the funny part about that was it was no rodeo, and it's funny how I survived all of
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
because during those journeys, I used to compete. I'm sure you've seen those images and memes where you see the buses, those big ass buses where the passengers are so full. As those Indian memes with the buses, people are flowing out of the buses.
Mhm.
I were
Yes, I'm
competing with
familiar with that.
Yeah, I used to compete with buses like that on a daily basis. I used to compete, and there were some
Wow.
times that I got myself dinged a couple of times by motorcycles with oncoming saying out of saying. There were also times that I even cycled with when my cycle was actually tilted into half, and
Oh my
so,
God.
yeah, the scariest experience that I've had was this
Mhm.
there was this moment when I was coming back from school, and as a cyclist, I didn't have raincoat or anything, so whatever I was wearing, it was weird. This is funny. This is an weird observation that I had. Every time I wore black, I was always gonna come home drenched. It was so funny. Looking back at it, it was actually true. And I realized this for a couple of days. It was very, very weird. So I tried to avoid wearing black, but that was mostly the uniform that I had on the particular days.
It's like you have no choice.
Yeah, and yeah, imagine that coming home with drenched up face, water in your face, and
Mhm.
it was really, really weird. And but that experience, coming back from that experience on one of these occasions, um, my friend and I, we were splitting, and we were talking for some time, and we were splitting, and it was rainy. And then, of course, I
Mhm.
was heading back, and I went under this bridge that on top of it was, of course, a train track. So as I headed into the train track, the water level almost was so high that it occupied at least 50% of the wheels. So I managed to get past the underpass with the water flooded, and I managed to get onto the track to the other side of the road. And I think out of the blue, my mind
Mhm.
said I wanted to turn back and take the other route back, so that at least it's much easier to go home. As I turned and I went
Mhm.
back, as I was going back, I noticed the water level was higher than expected. So I nearly, luckily, my brakes were so strong at that time. If had not been, I would have flipped myself and I would have gone straight into the water by myself. So I slid my
I
cycle
know.
towards the safer area. I think I slid to my right, and then the wheels nearly touched the water. And I said, "Okay, I'm already in this area. I might as well go ahead and go home." And yeah, that was the most scariest that I remembered out of all the weirdest experience that I've had.
Mhm.
I
And
gotta
you
ask you.
survived and you're doing the podcast now.
Yeah, yeah, true, true. I gotta ask you. I'm sure you had some crazy stories with the cycle as well. I mean, those cycles are so phenomenal. I think they need to have their own podcast episode with me as well.
With cycling, well, by far here in Singapore, it's pretty much safe because we have a dedicated lane for for cyclists,
Hmm,
and we have we call it the PCN, or the Park Connector Network, or connecting network. I'm not sure if it's connector or connecting. Basta we call it PCN, and it's connecting the parks all over Singapore. So if you just follow the path, you
hmm.
can go from one park to another, so you can actually cycle the entire Singapore,
Wow.
if you have if you have the strength to do it. Because it's around, I know it's around more than 100 kilometers, I think. So but it's possible, so yun. So for if you're asking me, if I have any scary story so far, not well, I had one where I sumemplang because um we were on the safe side naman of the roads. This is
Hmm,
still on a park connector of the road, park connector part of Singapore.
hmm,
So whenever we go out, very safe naman. I always have the helmet, the proper gear and all, because that's very important. Kaya lang there's this person, because I'm using a road bike.
hmm,
Me and my husband are using road bikes. When you're at the park connector, marami kang kasama dun eh. There are joggers, merong mga naglalakad ng dogs,
hmm,
may family nagbabike, may family nagjo-jog. So it's somewhat scary because the possibility for you to actually hit someone with your
hmm.
bicycle, that's also somewhat scary. Pero sometimes kasi road bikes are thinner,
Yeah.
it's mas ano siya mas maliit siya. It's thinner, it's lighter compared mo siya sa mountain bikes, and there are those that we call the fat bikes, the ones with fat tires.
Hmm,
Yon, yung fat bike. Nung when I was moving towards dun sa direction where we will go,
hmm,
may nakasalubong kaming naka-fat na may bit-bit na fat bike.
Huh.
The road itself, I was on the left, and
Huh.
then there are people passing by, walking, jogging on the on the right.
Huh.
Tapos makakasalubong ko siya. So ang ginawa ko, I had to move a little further to the left. And then he was approaching very fast yung approach niya. And he was like, it was as if there was no one sa kalsada. So ako, I had no choice but to talagang move further pa. Tapos yun, nalaglag ako sa may damuhan. As in, siya, ang laki ng sugat ko sa legs.
Aw.
But that was it. Nothing pretty like super, super scary thing. Kasi medyo takot din ako sa ganon. Like, that's why we only go out kapag medyo konti yung tao. Usually, Sunday or
Huh.
minsan middle of the day. Kasi sometimes it's scary to go out like say magbabike ka ng 5 to 7 p.m. Kasi here 7 p.m. may araw pa.
Huh.
Medyo matagal yung pagbaba ng araw dito. But what's scary is that you have buses, you have trucks, you have cars.
Huh.
So minsan kakabog yung dibdib mo when you go behind buses, but it's okay when you get used to it. So when you get used to it. Pero yung for me mas it's scary na yung possibility to hit a person kasi the liabilities, man.
Hmm.
You don't wanna be sued because of hitting someone.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
yun lang ang medyo scary thing that happened to me, but nothing so as much as yung nangyari sa iyo.
Yeah.
Oo,
Well,
mas grabe yung sa iyo.
it's all part of the experience of it. I kind of enjoyed it though. I kind of miss it. And
Mm.
one thing that I often people are scared about me when I'm here is that from La Trinidad to Baguio is much more easier than it is prior to my experience in in India. And it's like just
Mhm.
walking distance. It's funny. Many people are, I mean, out of love, yeah, out of concern, they often share that you better be safe, get a cab, and all that stuff. But
Mm.
aside from cycling, also there were certain days that my cycle, the air would get punctured, and you can't really get
Mhm.
a decent person who could fix your wheels up. There were moments that
Mhm.
I had to walk alongside the cycle, and it was torturous, but it it stretched my legs a bit. But yeah, it's fun.
Mhm. So you're also cycling in in La Trinidad.
I did, but now my cousin has kind of taken that cycle, and he's taken it to his
Mhm.
own, and he's enjoying it. So if he's
Mhm.
tuning into this episode, cheers, shout out to him. But yeah,
Return the bike, please. No, just kidding.
yeah.
But wait, Raj,
Mm.
ang are the roads in your area where you live right now pataas ba siya, or is it like straight road, diretso lang, ano ba?
From what I know
Mountain bike
of,
ba gamit mo?
oh yeah, the mountain bike. Oh no, I'm talking about the plateau and the geography of the area. From what I
Yeah.
know of, apparently La Trinidad, Baguio is more uphill. It's more challenging uphill.
Yeah, so I was actually thinking mukhang climbing talaga yung ginagawa. Diyos ko, good luck talaga sa legs mo nun.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I have the story to share there. But coming back to the geography of La Trinidad, I think La Trinidad is more flat. The area where I stay is
Mm-mm.
more flat thing. It's surrounded by mountains. So when we are heading into
Mm-mm.
Baguio, it's basically we're heading into a mountain in itself. So yeah,
Mm-mm.
there's this funny story that I think yeah, I remember I was working out and stuff like that, and then we had class, and the it was late night. I think I was with my mentor. I don't remember what the story was, but my ass, and
Mm-mm.
I did legs basically. So of course, when you work out legs, basically the ass, the legs, and
Mm-hmm.
the lunges and all that,
Yes.
the anatomy. The lower part was really shaking. It was funny. It was shaking in pain, and this was during the time pre-pandemic where I used to have a conversation with my mentor, and then we sit down and we talk for hours and hours. And I think around 6 o'clock we take a hike. There were days that I drop him
Mhm.
off to his drop him off to his house, or I drop him off
Mhm.
to wherever he's planning to go. So there was a time where I decided, okay, since he's going home, I'm walking, or I think he took the other route. I don't really remember exactly the specifics of it. My legs were in pain, and
Mhm.
the during that time, when it was a rainy season, it was so hard to get
Mhm.
hard to get a ride, so hard to hitch a ride. So what I had to do was I had to remedy that in the sense that I had since the because in our mall, in Central Mall, there is this line where it goes specifically to where I stay, and the line was so
Mhm.
long, even anaconda would say that's even longer than me. you know uh, that was how long it was. So basically, the waiting hours, my legs could not really compensate with the patience and standing straight for at least 1 hour and 30 minutes. I couldn't compensate. So when there are moments like that, when I see the lines are very long, I have no choice but I have to, take a hike, and
Oh my
then
gosh.
yeah, it was raining and the line was long, the queue was long, and then I had no choice. Luckily, I'm the guy in college. I'm the only guy who's always ready with an
Mhm.
umbrella. Whether it's sunny, it's raining, McDonald's shows up in front of your face, I'll still have an umbrella next to me. So yeah, um, uh, and I remember my legs were paining. The one thing I love about coming back from Baguio to La Trinidad is it's downhill. So it's like you can
Mhm.
I could literally roll all the
You
way
can
from
roll.
Baguio, yeah, and then I'm at home already. You know, that's how easy it was. Uh, there was a time that
Yeah.
I attempted to go the other way around because getting a jeep was tough. And I did that.
Mhm.
And I kind of surrendered in this area called Slaughterhouse, which was actually a few 5 miles close to the main city entrance where I kind of gave up there and I took a jeep. So, but that still counts as effort.
Mhm.
I don't remember
Yeah.
what was the
A for
occasion.
effort.
Yeah. There's so many stories actually. There was also a story that we had a play, and I don't think anyone remember. I don't know if I remember telling the story to anyone in the episodes.
Mhm.
Um, we had a play, and it was somewhere around March or Feb. And when it's March or Feb, it's always Pinagbenga season. What I mean by that is March, Feb, that is when they close out Session Road and they block out Session Road. So traffic is so bad in the sense that if you're planning
Yeah.
to go to school, you have to leave 4 a.m. in the morning of the previous day in order to get there as soon as possible and sleep in the college before you can actually enter, because that's how bad it was during the afternoons.
Mhm.
There was this day that it was so bad. We had a play, and then I had an eight p.m. class after that. So I in my character was this villainous character, and we had we it was an impromptu thing, so we had to pack up our stuff, and it was funny enough. I had a blanket, I had everything, and I had a big bag. It was because it was a lot of stuff and a lot of the 8 p.m. class was never excused for all of us. So I had to go there. I had to be there. I was so dead tired because we had two plays at that particular day, and our the location of our play was somewhere near heaven. It was that high. So you had a lot of stairs to climb in order. I think the lift was so damaged, you could not really go up. You have to go through a lot of stairs in order to go to the thing, and that's how crazy it was.
I've heard that every time the Pinagbenga,
Yeah,
yeah, whenever they have that festival, it's so fun because there are a lot of people and it's the flower festival,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Pero ang dami daw talagang tao. That's why whenever I
True.
ask my husband, because he studied dyan sa north,
Mm,
na sa Baguio, I
mm.
would ask him before while we were dating na, oh, let's go there. I want to see the flower festival. Sabi niya, no, you won't like it. Sabi niya, I know you too well. Hindi mo mag-aaway tayo pagkatapos nung flower festival kasi wala tayong sasakyan pa uwi. So yung pagod mo and then you will walk, yung ang haba-haba ng lalakarin mo, And sabi niya, no, I don't want to have a fight.
That's a very good man. Salute to him if
Matalino
it.
eh.
Yeah, salute to him if he's tuning in. So yeah, that was that was crazy. That was a crazy experience altogether. Um, After that whole thing, oh man, that was also one crazy experience that I thought I would die on the spot because right after that event was done, after our play, we had the two plays. Coming back to the story, by the way, that we had two plays.
Mhm.
It was back to back. We had a 1 hour break or something, and then we could not go down because you are up in heaven in UB. I'm sure you've seen those buildings that are high. We were on top
Mhm.
on one of those buildings, and that was where our play was. So if you go downstairs and
Wow.
go and have lunch downstairs and you had like a 30-minute thing break, by the time you reach, you're already halfway through the end of the play. And so we
Mhm.
had no choice, but we had to stay there. And man, after that, the class was done. I had no choice because after 8 p.m., there was no jeeps anymore. There was no jeeps heading home. So I had no choice but to I had to
Mhm.
walk. And that was the most exhausting part. I thought I was going to pass out, like I mentioned. I luckily there were some few sari stores around the area, and I had to re-energize myself, and I managed to make it through. I mean, I had a couple of chips that I had $20 or $30 in my wallet, and I had the chips, and then I went back home luckily and safe and sound because I had the blank. I think one of our prop was my blanket. One of my blankets. So imagine the
Mhm.
weight on the bag, and I was wearing a suit. I looked like James Bond with planning to go to high school or something. That that was, and that was my thing. And I never use makeup when it comes to play. I'm so naturally unnaturally healthy, but yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting journey altogether. But yeah, that enough about
Mhm.
me. Let's talk about my guest. Those are the experiences. I love those experiences. Those memories are worth sharing. Um, One thing I want to ask though, and I'm gonna ask this in Tagalog and English. Paano ka napadpad sa Singapore naman?
Oh. Actually, my husband he had a job offer, and so he took it because it's a very good opportunity kasi. And then of course non-negotiable for us. Pag kinuha mo yung isa dapat kasama ako. I mean, we're very clingy to each other.
Yeah,
So, and one thing din kasi we don't have kids pa.
yeah.
So, it's best to stay together.
Mm.
So, yon, that's why after a month of when he got here, after a month, sumunod na ako. And then we stayed here and the rest was history. Yun na
Wow,
yun.
wow. That's interesting.
Mm-mm.
That's interesting.
Second interesting of the night.
Yeah. Before we actually get into one of the things that I'm curious about to asking you, we're gonna have a short break, folks, and we'll be right back after these few short messages.
What's the scariest story you
Is it
know?
from a book, a movie, a TV
Or
show?
is it something that happened in real life? My name is Andrew.
And I'm Ninya. Come join us as we talk all things horror.
The frightening, alarming, real life tales show.
Out wherever you're listening to right now.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the Rajiv Show and OMG. On the first half, okay, I kind of admit that I spoke a lot, but now I'm gonna make sure that my guest is gonna speak a lot in this part of our conversation. So there's no escape from my
We
guest.
will try.
And again, let me introduce from Death Valley. No, just kidding. Parang wrestling.
Reset! Pinangatawa na talagang wrestling yung introduction.
Because I kind of like the last one that I said. Even I kind of freaked out when I said that. Oh, that was an interesting introduction. The peacock,
Number 3. Ding, 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 ding.
the peacock from Singapore, folks. If you haven't noticed, I'm still in communication with the beautiful peacock from Singapore, Roma Miclat herself. So yeah, yun ang
Salamat.
nickname
Thank
mo.
you, Rajiv.
Yun ang nickname mo.
Ha?
Papalitan ko na sa chat natin. Yun na yung nickname mo.
Pwede bang Roms na lang? Mas maikli yun eh.
Hindi kasi it has that elegant je ne sais quoi, creme de la creme kind of thing. It's like, oh, the peacock of Singapore is messaging me. Oh, ganun, di ba?
Oh my gosh. Ang haba pero na. Roms na lang. You stick with Roms. But yeah, whatever. Do whatever you want.
Yeah. Awesome. And now let's get back into the conversation. Podcast. I want to combine these two. The thing that you mentioned in the beginning. You are yeah, as mentioned in the beginning, you are a podcaster and a social content media manager. One thing is, what got you into podcasting?
Podcasting has been, well, let me just give a bit of a background. I've been doing content. I've been a content creator way back in 2014. I think it all started as a, like you, Rajiv. You also had a blog, right? Or
Yeah.
you still have blog pa? May blog ka pa?
Yeah, I'm still contemplating on whether deleting it or not. I think I'll leave it there. But yeah, I still have a blog under my name.
Mm-mm. Yeah. So yon, pareho tayo. I've been blogging since 2014. And then nag-transition because that time yun na yung nauso bigla yung vlogging. Like YouTube became a huge hit that everyone was doing vlogging, makeup blog and all, reviews ng products, but mine was concentrated on makeup. So makeup, skincare, anything anything shopping related yan. Lifestyle in general. Tapos, fast forward, it was fun. It was fun to do blogging. But it's also magastos because mine is more on luxury makeup products.
Yeah.
But at the same time, after 2 years of doing that, I was like, I want to do something else. Kasi I feel like medyo nag-plateau na yung journey ko sa blogging. So I wanted to try YouTube. I wanted to try vlogging. Unfortunately, maririnig nyo to in other episodes kung saan ko man siya na, because I've been repeating this na I think vlogging is really not for me because I feel so conscious sa camera. So like, when you talk to the camera and then, hi, welcome back to my channel, those stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't feel that I can share so much of my life online on a daily basis. That's just me. It's not, I'm not against anyone. If that's your thing, if that's your jam, that's good for you, diba? It works. It's just that on a personal level, sa akin, I feel like it's not my thing because I value my privacy, but I also want to share a part of my life online because I wanna inspire people. So long story short, I tried vlogging. Hindi ako nag-succeed. So, after that, 2016, sabi ko, parang I wanna do something else since I'm not successful with vlogging. Let me just go back to my blog. I will do write-ups and reviews. And then, on the side, I wanna try podcasting. So, 2016, I think, was my first try to do podcasting. I did 3 episodes. And man, it was bad. It was so bad. So bad that sobrang, alam mo yung parang nakakaantok pag pinakinggan mo, na parang walang kalatoy-latoy talaga yung sasabi ko. Because I was basically reading whatever it is that I have on my blog. So it's like, so like 4 years ago, nawalan ako ng loob na I don't think it's not working for me again, ganyan. So, ayun, continue lang until I stopped it again. I had 3 episodes, but that's it. And then, I went back to blogging. So, this time naman, 2016, I was blogging na about my fitness journey, how I did my lifestyle change. I was trying to be a minimalist. And then, what else? more on travel vlog. So yun naman more on snapshots lang and mga mini videos, but there is really nothing, parang hindi ako nagsasalita. But basta views lang, whatever it is that we saw, ganyan, ipapakita ko lang diyan. Those are my type of vlogs, but really not the yung may conversation on the video. And then 2018 came. I was like, okay, let me try this again. Because I really want to do something more than blogging. Na parang feeling ko, I need to talk again because I've been at home for so long because I stopped working in 2014. Kasi sabi ko, I want to rest first from the corporate world and let's see after a year if I want to go back or not. And nag-enjoy ako sa content creation. So, yon, hindi na ako bumalik sa work. So again, going back to 2018, sabi ko I want to try podcasting again, but this time I'm going to have a different approach. I was more I'm more ready, I'm more prepared, and this time I really want to do it, not because I just want to do it for the sake of having something to do, but I want to put my heart on it, na parang every episode they should know a little bit of me as a person, as a content creator, as the person behind Berry Duchess. And that time I was clinging on the brand of Berry Duchess because Berry Duchess is the blog. That's makeup, whatever vlogging you can see when you search Berry Duchess. You'll see my face, you'll see my swatches, you'll see my reviews. Because I was so hindi pa ako confident na, oh my God, will I use my name? Will I use my real name? What if they don't like me? Yung mga ganong question.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I'm happy that I tried it. And after a year, so I started March 2018, I guess, or sorry, 2019. That was also the time that I was trying to do something because I lost my mom and I needed someone to talk to, and I was lonely and I was trying to figure out things in my life, and it was a good decision na parang I need someone to talk to so parang since I cannot find anyone to talk to, I'm gonna talk to myself, and then I'm gonna put this conversation with myself over the internet, and maybe someone who has the same interest with me would listen to this, or maybe I'm gonna help them if they listen to whatever I say or whatever episode I put out there. Hopefully makatulong siya. That's the thing naman with whatever I do, I always make sure that there is value, because Rajiv, every one of us, each of us, we can do content. Everyone can do content. Even a 5-year-old can do a content. But the thing is, ano ba yung quality ng content mo? Is it trashy? Oh yes, may mga nagiging viral. Kahit basura yung type ng content nila. I'm sorry for the word, but that's really, really, I cannot find any other words to use But a content is a content. Nasa sayo yan or nasa creator yan if you will do something of value or meaningless. And for me, personal thing ko yun, that whatever I put out there, it should always be of value. Na parang it should also be timeless. Na parang magagamit ba siya hindi lang ngayon, magagamit din ba siya in the future. So, yun. That's why and then okay naman siya, nag-okay yung flow nung show. It all started with ang akin lang naman nga Hindi pa naman the Roma Miclat podcast It started with ang akin lang naman because I would always end the show with ang akin lang naman, blah, blah, blah. My points, talking points. But then I realized I was caging myself because if I use the Filipino language and I have international followers, I think I'm excluding them. What if they want to listen to my podcast, diba? So I was like, okay, I'm going to remove it. And then fast forward to now, I changed it to the Roma Miclat podcast.
Wow. I'm tempted to say interesting because I don't want to go for 5. But yeah.
Do it! Do it!
Interesting, interesting.
That's number five! Five, five,
Four,
five!
oy, four pa yun ha. Patatlo yun ha. Hindi counted yung kanina.
Five
Ah,
na!
five na ba? Ah,
Nililito mo ako, nililito ako.
it's it's funny. I love how you built that story and the passion. I mean, the passion and the heart is there. And that's one thing I love about the stuff that I've learned from all the conversations that I've had with the Let's Talk series. That everybody's got the heart and the expression. I just had this joke that I thought about, folks. For those who are tuning in, prior to this conversation, um, I told Roma Miclat that we are not gonna do a vidcast, and she was already freaking out because she didn't have anything on. She only
Yeah, I don't have anything like my face, like you whatever you see on my Facebook page and on my website. That's nothing close to what how I look like how I look right now. Sobrang moisturizer lang yung meron ako, guys.
the funny thing was I was advising her, girl, you need to get the foundation up. You gotta get this up. You gotta get that up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, wow, social content managers. I never expected that to be a kind of work, a job kind of thing. Uh,
Mhm.
Coming back to the interesting stuff that I have, that's number six. I'm so self conscious. I'm the one who's counting myself. I'm not supposed to be doing that. Coming back to the interesting thing, I'm just purposely saying it now. That I did blogging. It was out of curiosity. A small story on how I used to do things as well. Because when I started out blogging, I think I joined WordPress, and I don't really, for me, I don't really know the years anymore. With this pandemic, it feels like I've been stuck at home for almost 3 decades. So I do not know what year it
Forever.
is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, inverted day, triangle day. I don't know what day it is. Uh, but coming back to the content that I created, the first time I created and I went to WordPress, it's funny that I didn't know anything
Mhm.
about blogging. It was just that I was looking at everybody's blog. It was so neat. Everything is so neat. And then the
Mhm.
community was so kind. I had no idea whether I was journaling. I didn't even know that there were niches. I didn't know any of that stuff.
Mhm.
And then yeah, I had to change. It's weird. I had to change my name, Rajiv Doreswami .wordpress.com, to Raha the bass, because at that time I was so heavily into bass. I was a bass player at that time, and I
Mhm.
was so obsessed with the bass, so I kind of came up with the moniker Raha the bass. So I converted Rajiv Doreswami to
Mhm.
Raha the bass. It was kind of weird because I was using WordPress, the free version, not the paid one. When I
Mhm.
transitioned back into when I transitioned back into thing, I had no choice. I lost my URL rights, which is
Mhm.
rajivdoreswami.wordpress. So I had no choice but to downgrade my blog to Blogger.
Mhm.
And one thing led to the other. I was actually releasing content up until the podcast became Sing what it is today, and many people
Mhm.
supporting with all the love. It was kind of competing. Rajiv Doreswami.blogspot.com is, I think, still there. I'm not planning to delete it anymore, coming to think of it. And
Mhm.
hopefully coming soon, the Rajiv Show blog will come up again. I'm still contemplating on whether to start that. And uh, and yeah, the podcast grew also the same way. I did not know anything in the beginning. I think it was the same. It was so
Mhm.
robotic, so robust, the how I was presenting
Mhm.
my first episode. I think the time when I did it, with the time I joined Anchor. That was when I saw an ad by Gary Vaynerchuk, and uh,
Mhm.
and he made it popular. Anchor, you can just have a podcast as though you're answering a phone call in your phone. That's how simple it is. And I
Mhm.
kind of bit into the marketing. But I did not know that thing. There was a lot of people doing this, and I kind of garnered a lot more listens from that, and then monetization came into the way, and then from then on out, the pandemic, I kind of revived that because when I started out, it was I
Mhm.
think the end of 2017, and then 2018, I released my first episode, but I didn't remain consistent because college got the worst out of me, and then it was hard to compensate. But yeah, one thing led to
Mhm.
the other. When I met Roma Miclat's podcast, I said, "Wow, that's the standard." Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And
Thank you. Oh my god. I
I
feel
was
shy.
I was blown away the fact that when I saw and heard all these other podcasts and all the way they did things, I kind of felt like I was moonwalking while everybody was front walking because I appreciate everybody's podcast, including yours, uh, um, and
Thank you.
how I see it is that you guys are well equipped with your stuff. You guys, it's funny coming to think of it. The creation of the podcast was all backwards. Like I said, I was moonwalking all over Sing.
Mhm.
I was moonwalking every single uh, every single thing. The marketing, the page, it was
Mhm.
all backwards. I was flipping everything
Mhm.
backwards. But what I meant by that was uh, everybody had a Facebook page prior to the idea through the podcast. But what
Mhm.
I did was I had the Rajiv Doreswamy page, and then it was last minute. I decided when the Let's Talk series, it was the first episode when I released the first episode of the Let's Talk series. Adrian Duerte's episode. Shout out to him if he is listening to this episode. Is that
Hey babe.
he he actually his episode was actually the transition part when I decided to split Rajiv Doreswamy and Rajiv show. And then one thing led to the other. The Facebook page was created, the Instagram page was created, and of course, the YouTube was under my name, Rajiv Doreswamy. I created a brand page, which is also the Rajiv Show. So it was all backwards prior to what you guys are doing, which you had the page, you had the idea, you had the stuff, and then boom, bada boom, you guys went with the social media, and one thing led to the other. You guys are doing phenomenal. I feel like I'm catching up though. So yeah.
Mm. Yeah, but you know what, Rajiv, there are wala namang concrete rule when it comes to content creation or when it comes to starting your podcast. And it's okay. I mean, that's your journey yung
Mm,
sa podcasting mo. It's your journey. It's fine. Ang important is you are learning and you are catching up.
yeah. And coming from you, that's really heartwarming. I felt like I got hugged by the Singapore peacock. But yeah.
Yeah, totoo yun. There are no rules naman eh. Kasi sometimes, depende sa learning, di ba? Parang bata yan eh. Iba-iba ang learning journey ng bata. May iba na magaling sa exams, may
Mm,
iba na magaling sa actual, may ibang sobrang todo aral,
mm,
pero hindi pa rin makaperform ng 'di ba? May mga
yeah.
ganun eh. Iba-iba yung learning curve ng tao. So even in podcasting, I believe that also applies in podcasting.
Uh,
Yung sa akin siguro, I would say I'm just lucky that I already have the setup, the equipment. It's because I tried it before. I tried vlogging, so I have the setup, and I was blogging. So it was a bit easier on me kasi on my part to do podcasting and have everything that I need, basically because my the things that I was doing like 5-6 years ago was already content creation. And to those who are listening who are planning to do podcast, wag kayong ma-disheartened or wag kayong mawala ng pag-asa. As long as you want to do it, just do it. All you have to do is start. Tsaka make sure that you really love or you're doing this because this is what you really want to do. Not because this is a pastime na parang, for the next 3 months, ito lang yung gagawin ko. Kasi when it comes to content creation, you really have to put your heart, soul, and time and effort to it so that it will be it will be fruitful. Isang secret siguro I would say ng pagkakaroon ng parang ano ba, isang secret ng content creation would always be consistency. And it's hard to have consistency. Kasi yun yung ano eh, yun yung yun yung magsusupport sa overall na effort mo eh.
Yeah.
Like everyone can start something new. Every day ilang pages ang merong Facebook page ang nagsa-start. Every day ilang blogs ang nagsa-start, vlog, even YouTube. I remember I came across with this video na sinabi na parang in 2019 there were around 7 million, tama ba ako? 7 million new YouTube channels. So imagine, but not all those 7 million channels are consistently producing content, 'di ba? Iilan lang yung magiging successful doon in the next 1 to 3 years. 'Di ba? Kasi everyone was just starting. Yun ang thing when it comes to content, when it comes to social media. Everyone can start a page, everyone can start an Instagram profile, but the question is, are you consistent enough? Yun. That's one na minsan nalilimutan natin because of course, for example, with what happened in this pandemic.
Yeah.
We all had the time, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Wala tayong magawa. So, ang dami nating nagkaroon ng podcast, ang dami nagkaroon ng, I don't know, maybe blogging or maybe streaming. But then after that, bumalik na sa trabaho. Tapos, naset aside na yung mga shows or yung mga na-create nila during the pandemic. And we won't know kung babalik pa sila or matutuloy pa, magkakaroon pa ng susunod na mga episodes or whatever yung mga ginawa nila during the pandemic. Pero kasi, hindi na siya priority. It was on the side. So yung doon papasok yung consistency. Walang consistency, therefore, lagi lang silang ningas kugon. And the reason why I'm saying this is because it happened to me. Even before the berryduchess.com became consistent, I had siguro mga 5 blogs before.
Wow.
Because let me be honest with you, Rajiv. When I was starting blogging back in 2007 or 2008, 2006 yata, it was like my online diary. I was under different pseudonym. It's because the main reason why I was doing my blog that time is because I want to put my hatred, my galit out there. I just want to write. I just want to put my emotions and frustrations online because I know I can't do that to people. Parang hindi ko siya masasabi. Pero gusto ko ilabas yung sama ng loob ko. So it was like an online diary. Tapos pag okay na ako, naka-move on na ako, i-delete ko na yon. Or di kaya malilimutan ko na yon. How many blogs that I had that I totally forgot it existed. So you see, parang first of all, you have to know your why. In everything you do in life, you have to know your why. Why are you doing this thing? Are you doing this out of boredom? Or are you doing this because this is what you want to do in the next 5 years? That's very important kasi when shit hits the fan, kapag hindi ka na inspired, you're running out of ideas, gusto mo nang mag-give up, you feel like pero wala naman nangyayari sa buhay ko, parang mga ganang drama. You will go back to your why na parang bakit Roma? Why are you podcasting? Is it to please people? Or is it because you want to put yourself out there and you want to develop your speaking skills and you want to share the things that you learn in life with other people? And then I will realize, oo nga, nag-iinarte lang ako. So kumaga, it brings you back to your original purpose. Yun. That's what you want. That's what you need to know. Ano yung why mo? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing this podcast? Why are you doing this type of content? Diba? So, yun. Ganon.
Wow, that was... I don't know how to follow up with that. It felt like a Martin Luther Jr. speech. I mean, wow.
Grabe siya.
It's powerful though. I do agree. I mean, the fact that you've done... I did not know that you've done 10. Coming to think of it, that one blog, it's funny. I was talking about that one blog, and then you said you did 10. It's like, whoa, It was like taking
Mga 5 naman, hindi naman 10, mga 5 before the
yeah.
berryduchess.com, which is now romamiclat.com. O, di ba? Ang daming
It's like
changes pa din.
parang I'm holding a nice new apple that I bought off the market, tapos I'm looking at Roma on the other side of the market holding like 5 or 10 apples that are brand new from Fiji, you know. It's like, whoa.
'Di ba? Kasi ano sometimes we only see what's in front of us what's present, 'di ba? Na parang pero we don't know na behind that, bago ka nakarating dyan sa magandang yan, sa magandang presentation na yan, it was all hard work
Yeah.
na hindi matatawaran.
Hmm.
Na talagang minsan talaga you will doubt, ang daming beses you will doubt yourself, na parang wala namang, parang ako lang lagi yung nagtitingin sa vlog ko, or ako lang yung nagko-consume ng content ko. But
Yeah.
that's the thing. Darating ka, hindi naman laging may manonood But you have to believe in what you produce.
Yeah.
So that people will also believe your product, diba?
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. Powerful. Woo! Grabe. Beautiful. Interesting, beautiful, powerful, majestic, magnificent, every single adjective.
Number 6.
Number 6 ba? May interesting na hindi ka narinig, ha?
So 7 na pala. 7 na pala.
May counter ba tayo? Sana may ding-ding. Wala naman akong ding-ding.
Dapat may counter.
Oo nga. But yeah, I mean, yeah. To me, like I said in the beginning, you've set the bar, and I'm not saying this just to please you or anything. I'm also looking at others. Hopefully, I also look at Huntahan Nights, because Huntahan Nights marketing stuff on Instagram is pretty good. J.I.'s Quality, Jack, and all these other guys from the community, from the PPD community. The man himself,
Maraming
Brian Dayo.
magagaling. That's so
Yeah.
true. Mm-mm.
And Cuenca himself, everybody, I really love, and you guys have that standard, and I always look up to you guys. It's like, this is phenomenal, and every time you guys chart, it's like, you know, I often ask myself, oh man, that's pretty cool. I wish I'd get there. I get there. I mean, I know in my head I'd get there as well, but yeah.
You'll get there, yes. That's the thing. That's the spirit. You'll get there. One day, parang you sabi mo sa sarili mo, one day, I'm gonna wake up and the Rajiv show will be on that chart.
Akala ko
It will be
kakanta
on
ka
the
ng
fucking
one day.
chart.
Gulat ko. Gulat nga ako dun, Sabi niya one day, oy, what? She's gonna sing now. We're gonna sing now with the thing, raise your hand. Ano to? Bayang lupang hinirang. Yeah.
But you'll get there, yes.
Yeah,
Hindi
and
like for me, hindi naman consistent Pero
Yeah.
the rest, diba? They're very consistent. Kasi I think they're really consistent sila sa ginagawa nila.
And folks, for those who are tuning in, if you haven't heard my collaboration with Roma Miclat, I want to say, I think I've said this countless of times in all the shares that I've done in her post, is that she knows how, if you guys are collaborating with her, she knows how to make you look sexy. So don't hesitate to ask her, and you don't even need to think about it. You don't need to ask her, can you make me sexy like this? She'll just make it happen, and just trust the process, because she can make it. She's Roma Miclat. I swear it. Every time I
No,
look at
I
that
think-
thing, yeah.
Oo. Kasi I think, actually, ito yun, guys. I'm just, highlighting the good stuff already. It's already good. It's just being highlighted. Actually, wala yun. Wala akong ginagawa doon. It's all them. It's all them. It's all my guests. They just don't realize their inner beauty. Nga, ganon. they just don't realize their inner beauty. So it's just that when you put the spotlight on these people, talagang na-appreciate lang nila. Like Rajiv, na-appreciate niya yung kanyang sexiness. O, di ba?
The funny part about that was, for me, for the love of podcasting, when she released the episode, prior to the recording, actually, the only thing that I had in my head was, I mean, I knew I loved the episode. I actually loved the episode. In the back of my head, I want to know, oh shit, how she's gonna make me? In my head, I never told her this. This is this is top information that you guys are hearing for the first time. When I was thinking about how will she make me look sexy? I hope she does the black and white and the gradient and all that. Those are the things that are running to my head. I hope she does the double glasses. And when she came up with the product and she sent me an email, and she's the emotions that ran in my thing, I was so excited. I actually wanted to take a picture of the images. Then I just realized, since she's gonna share it, I might as well share it and say that she made me look sexy, because seriously, she's really
By the
top
way,
notch.
Raj, maybe
Yeah.
they were wondering what episode are we talking about. That is actually episode 77 on
Yeah,
the Roma Miclat podcast. That was my
exactly.
interview with Rajiv, where I asked him well, a little bit more about him and the show, and also my 5 questions with Rajiv, which is very fun and interesting. Then interesting. Oh, I said it.
Dagdag sa listahan. Dagdag sa listahan.
Yeah, but not on you eh. Sa akin yun eh. So hindi yun counted.
So yeah. Oh man, this conversation is amazing. Um, I
Aw.
I always feel love when Roma Miclat comes to my show. Hopefully, I would love to be
Mm.
featured again in the Roma Miclat and be sexy again. After,
Yes, soon. Babalik si Rajiv sa aking show.
yeah. This time I don't know what kind of pictures I'm gonna send, but I'm gonna send the wacky ones, because even the wacky ones that I gave, she actually made me look sexy. It's like, whoa, that was
Parang
possible.
to those who haven't seen the promo post, the promo poster, he really looked like parang musician talaga I mean, like, he is a musician. Pero parang sobrang sikat na musician. Na parang, who's this guy? Mapapatanong ka, ooh, Roma, who's this guy? You know, the one with the bass, playing the bass. May ganon eh. May ganong factor eh.
Kinikilig mo na ako. My gosh.
Oo, that's syempre ma-attitude yung pinili kong yung pinili ko talagang picture.
Man, but yeah, the funny part about that is the stuff that the photographs that saying a history behind that photograph. Before we end this conversation, a history behind those photographs is that what was I don't even remember the photos now. I'm kind actually technically, as I'm having this conversation, I'm scrolling back. Oh yeah, I'm scrolling back at the photos that she actually made me look sexy of. Um, the one where I was wearing a bonnet, technically that was one of my reggae jam sessions with my dad. We were playing. I was actually playing
Mm.
rhythm guitar, and at that time, my chops for lead guitar kind of took off. So I was experimental, and kind
Mm.
of that was an amazing gig in Big Picture at that time. And the
Mhm.
other one where I was wearing shades, that was an unexpected jam session. For those who
Mm.
don't know, it was funny. I think this jam session. Yeah, I was actually. I had a stay over with a friend's place, and we were. He asked my dad's permission, of course, because I was with my dad during that time. He asked me
Mhm.
if we could just stop by in Big Picture. It was actually in Big Picture as well. And we went. This was a
Mhm.
different venue though. There was a band that was playing, all girls band, I remember, and the photographer was phenomenal, so phenomenal that he caught everything. And I think the guy who wanted to jam, hey, you just plug in your bass and let's do a jam session for no reason. And then yeah, there was a drummer
Mm.
in the back, and we were just grooving, and yeah, they took that shot. It was
And you know
unexpected.
what I love about those pictures is that you are in the zone. Like, you are not acting, you are not posing. That's one thing
Yeah.
that I love. I love photos that are parang taken siya ng hindi siya post. That's what I love about photos na unpost. Yun talaga yung mga gustong gusto kong mga pictures. Because it brings out the real person eh. Doon mo makikita
Mhm.
siya. Like for you, you're in the zone. Kitang-kita na ang saya-saya mo na you're playing with your guitar. So when they see your picture, ang magiging may instill sa kanilang thought will be, that is the guy who's playing a guitar, baka musician siya. Maybe, alam mo yun, anything
Yeah.
that's related to music, which is really your
Yeah.
thing naman talaga, diba? You
True.
really love playing the guitar and you're a musician, diba?
Yeah.
So, yun. So,
Oh, one
again,
more.
just highlighting yung totoong, ikaw.
One more thing about that bass guitar that I was playing actually is my dad. There's a story. I think I said this in my episode, my dad's episode, during the lost years where I featured him. Uh, there's a very interesting story behind that. Pang ilan na yan? 9. Kalimutan ko na yung bilang. Yeah.
8, pang-walo pa lang.
Pang wala pa lang. Oh. Sobrang excited. The funny thing about that
Pag
was...
nakasampu, may 100 ako kay Raj.
Suko ko na dun, no? So, coming back to the story at hand, my dad had an accident with his left hand. So, when it comes to playing the bass, actually I'm a second generation bass player. When I when he got home this custom made bass guitar, it was not really the size of a jazz bass. And what I mean by a jazz bass is much bigger and much fatter, and the sound is much stronger. And the fretboard, the spacing between the fretboard, the stuff between the fretboard was much more wider. So mostly the pinky, when you're playing with the bass, most likely the pinky is the one that struggles the most when you're playing the bass. So my dad had I don't know, an accident. I don't really remember the story, but he had a missing thing in near his pinky finger of his left hand. So he got that custom made bass, and then there was a time where every time I used to jam, actually when I used to play his bass, used to get so fed up because I used to bug him a lot, and I used to break. This might sound weird, but don't get it in the wrong way. I used to break the G string of his
Mhm.
bass guitar. The last string, the highest
Yeah.
string, and it
Yeah.
was mostly because of the tuning. At that time my hearing was very off, and I
Mhm.
overstretched the string to the point that it breaks.
Yeah.
So my
It will
dad...
flick.
Yeah. I mean, it is funny that when you have a bass guitar, it's normal that the strings are supposed to be strong. It's not meant to break. And in
Mhm.
my case, I also suffer from hyperhidrosis, which is sweaty palms. I don't know if that's the word,
Mhm.
hyper. So every time I play the bass or play the guitar, especially the steel string guitars, they're most likely to rust the very week that I change the strings
Mm.
because of
Yes.
the thing, sweaty
Yes.
palms. Even though I wipe the strings, it still ends up rusting in the end. So it was kind of my problem. And then my dad, behind my back, we were celebrating my birthday. My dad called up the one who did the custom made bass guitar, and then the one who made the bass guitar, and then told him to make that guitar that you guys are seeing, the silver guitar. And the guy
Mhm.
actually made it, but there was a lot of flaws in it. There was the fretboard, the G string on the fretboard was actually flying off of the fret once you go down to the 12, which I didn't notice. It was really stretched to
Mhm.
the point that the fret would actually flicker off to the edge of the air. Basically, when you're pressing it downwards, you have to press it inwards into the fret instead of pressing it towards the fret, downwards to the fret. So it
Mhm.
was kind of yeah. Those are a lot of flaws. The buttons, there was so many things, but yeah, I kind of cherish. I think I still have that baby with me. Unfortunately, she's not
Mm.
functionable anymore. But yeah, that's the story of that bass. And the guy who did it, I really salute him, Bobby. If he's tuning into this episode, cheers. Um, yeah, and I love how he did that guitar. Even though it was so flawed, it was actually the size. If you guys are seeing it right now, it's actually the size of a normal electric guitar. It was meant to be an electric guitar
Mhm.
actually, but then that happened, and yeah,
Mhm.
a lot of history was made from that thing. A couple of gigs were made from that, but I love it. That's the story
Mhm.
behind that, which was first time for those who are tuning in. That is the first hand information if you've reached this portion of the conversation. So yeah.
Congratulations if you reach this portion of the convo.
Since we have 18 interesting, I'm gonna finish off with three interestings just to get it off the way because I really am a perfectionist and I wanted to go down to 10. So I'm gonna say interesting three times.
Yes.
Interesting, interesting, interesting. Ay, 11 na pala kasi 8.
Interesting.
So yeah. Awesome. Um First of all, before we actually end the conversation, I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
definitely a lot of my listeners would love to connect with you via social media and find you, and probably perhaps you make them look sexy. How do they find you in social media?
They might get confused ano kung ano what is sexy, what is the sexy that they're talking about here. Okay, thank you so much, Rajiv, for this opportunity. And hi again, my name is Rama, and I am the host and producer of the Roma Miclat podcast. And you can listen to my podcast on Spotify, Anchor.fm, where my Apple podcast, and wherever you're listening your podcast from. Is that right? Kung saan
Yeah.
man kayo nakikinig ng inyong podcast. But if you want to watch some of my vidcast, because I have some episodes where I have vidcast, you can go to my YouTube channel or Facebook. Just follow me. And I'm also on Instagram. Just look for at the Roma Miclat podcast. And you can also visit my website, www.romamiclat.com. And you can send me a message, say hi, leave me your comments, suggestions, violent reactions, pwede rin naman. So, yon. Ayun. Thank you so much, Rajiv, for letting me guest on the show.
Yeah. Padagdag din for those who are an add-on for those who really who want to understand. You guys, you gotta go to the Roma Miclat, and if you guys are in the message bar, you welcome. I'm gonna give you some good advice before you actually have a collaboration with Roma. Type in "make me look sexy" and send that message to her in her Instagram and her Facebook.
Oh
And
my God. If I get flooded with that message, I'm gonna blame you.
that's the entire point behind
Oh
that.
my gosh. Alam ko na, Rajiv, when we post this episode, the official hashtag is hashtag make me look sexy. People will be like, what the fuck is this?
Hindi pa, dagdag pa
What
ron.
the heck is this?
To make that even much longer, make me look sexy Roms. Ayun!
Or make me look sexy, Roma.
Ayun!
Oh my God.
Ay, dadagdag ko yun dun sa description nito. Hashtag the
Sige,
Rajiv
sige,
Show.
let's make that possible. Oh,
Yeah.
sige. Ipa-trend natin yan.
Kasi ayaw ko gamitin yung
Who
Donald
the
Trump
fuck is this,
approach.
Roma?
Make me look great again. Parang ano yun? Parang
Oh
Donald
my
Trump.
God. Yeah, the hat, yung naka-stitch sa
Oh.
hat ni Donald Trump, diba? Make America
Ayaw ko yung
great
ganun eh.
again.
Make me look sexy, Roma.
My God, guys. We're just kidding, ha? Huwag nyo natakot.
Good luck na, Roms. I'm giving you advance warning. Good luck
Kumanda
na
ka
if you get
talaga,
that.
Rajiv, when I receive those messages. I'm gonna send it to you. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna
blame you.
send a meme, thumbs up
This is on
meme.
record, guys.
I hope I get to have you back probably season 4, season 5. I still have no idea prior to the recording of this episode. I still do not know how I'm gonna recruit with the season 5 and so on and so forth. But I hope I get to have you guys
Yeah.
again, all the guests that I've from here and from the next coming. I mean, I'd love to have you guys back again because it's always a pleasure to have a conversation with you guys. So yeah, with that in mind,
Yeah, just let me know. Drop me a message. You know naman
Yeah.
where to find me. Uh-oh.
yeah, I know what to send also to you, so no worries.
Oh no.
So So I want to thank my guests, the peacock from Singapore, the majestic, the legendary, the phenomenal, sexy maker, Roma Miclat herself.
Thank you, Rajiv. And can I just say before I leave the episode and your show,
Sure.
congratulations on your podcast and just continue doing whatever it is that you are doing. You are doing great, and more power.
Thank you.
I
Thank
can't
you.
wait for you. I can't wait to see you I can't wait to see you parang ano ba maging successful and to see you on the charts. O, di ba?
Awesome.
I-manifest natin 'yan.
Yeah. Let's get this. Let's get the listens out there. We always have to. You know, if you're tuning in
Yes,
and you
yes,
like the
of course.
content, you
Yes.
genuinely love the content, share it with your friends, brothers, sisters, grandma. Let everybody listen. You know, this is some good stuff, some good,
Mhm.
amazing story from the Let's Talk series. And this Let's Talk series is never going to end. It looks like that's how it is prior to the recording of uh,
Mhm.
thing. There's a lot and a lot of people, a lot of amazing stories, a lot of inspirational stories. So if you like the story, share it. And yeah, and
Mhm.
I love doing this. I'm in it for the fun and the laughs, like what we did with Roma Miclat in
I
and
hope you had fun talking to me, Rajiv.
oh yes, oh yes. At least if I could compensate by the fact that you made me look sexy, I hope I made you look beautiful without the makeup.
Oh my gosh! I'm gonna hunt you talaga hanggang may lumabas na ano On record talaga sinabi, I'm gonna hunt you. Oh, just kidding,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for those who are tuning in, I hope you learned a thing or two, and I hope you were entertained in this conversation. Um, and like and share, subscribe, all do all those fancy stuff, and I will see you folks in the next episode. Cheers, folks.
Bye!